All right. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern. Talk about all things professional wrestling on the GSMC Sports Network. So make sure you subscribe to the show and also the network to catch some of the other awesome podcasts we have here as well. So now we're going to talk about our Tuesdays today in wrestling history. We are going back, taking you guys in my time machine, going 88 miles per hour on this day, July 23rd, back in time. So let's go ahead and do it. Join me in this journey. It's going to be pretty lit. It's going to be pretty lit. All right. So we're going to start off first and foremost in 1984, WWE's Brawl to end it all at Madison Square Garden. The only televised match was a match that was shown actually on MTV. Kind of crazy. Wendy Richard defeated the Fabulous Moolah for the WWE Women's World Championship. This was kind of during the age of rock and wrestling, the rock and wrestling connection era. During the 1980s, on a regular, basis, cross promotional between wrestling and mainstream music and like entertainment industries and stuff like that. Kind of reminds me of like kind of like a pop-up video. I don't remember if you guys remember that from VH1. Also, once when MTV actually did have music and not just trash reality TV shows. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not trashing any TV shows. Totally take that back. Not really, but I'm just kidding. No. But you used to see kind of like Beavis, and I remember watching Beavis and Butthead, where during the show, during commercial breaks, they would show like up and coming music videos and stuff like that. Also on Celebrity Deathmatch as well. A lot of then you had the cross promotional between MTV and also the WWF back in that the rock and wrestling connection and stuff like that, which I thought was actually, kind of interesting, kind of, super cool. 1,010% super cool. Now we're in 1989. The very first Great American Bash is on WCW pay-per-view in Baltimore, Maryland. You saw Ric Flair retain the NWA World Heavyweight Championship against Terry Funk. You saw Sting retain his NWA TV World Championship. You saw Jim Cornette defeat Paul T. Oh no, Paul D. Dangerously or something like that. That's in a tuxedo match. I don't even know what that means. That obviously, that's old school wrestling. 1,010% pretty badass. You saw Lex Luger retain his NWA United States Championship by disqualification against Ricky Steamboat. And the main event featured, you're going to see the Road Warriors teaming up with the Midnight Express, teaming up with Steve Williams, defeating the Fabulous Freebirds, Terry Gordon, and the Samoan Squat team in a War Games match. So, kind of crazy. I, did not realize how long the War Games match has been kind of prominent inside WWE. So, obviously, sorry, there's some noise going on back there. I don't know what it is. Had to check it out. But yeah, like you're gonna have blood and guts from from AEW on Dynamite. So honestly, super excited to see that match in a Hell in a Cell, two rings put together. It's gonna be absolutely. It's so crazy because I think there's like three or four other bookings, and then it's just going to be that match. It's going to be that match. No doubt in my mind, that match is going to go for at least an hour. An hour just blood being shown on live TV and stuff like that. Pretty crazy. Darby Allin already seems like he's going to go absolutely nuts. Brought out a freaking flamethrower the last time they fought the Elite at Anarchy in the arena. But now teaming up with the Elite, you have the Hangman, Adam Page. Then you have going against the Acclaimed, Swerve Strickland, Darby Allin, and my man, the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, Mark Briscoe. But Mark Briscoe has a match at a Death Before Dishonor on Saturday against Roderick Strong for that Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship. So I really honestly hope that really doesn't, kind of play in Roderick Strong's kind of favor, but I can see why it would. The Undisputed Kingdom needs a title to kind of be prestigious. They need that guy. I don't know where Adam Cole is at this point. Maybe still kind of nursing an injury and stuff like that. But yeah, 1995, we have WWF In Your House. WWF champion Diesel retain his title against Sid Vicious. We also saw Owen Hart and Yokozuna retain their WWF tag team titles against the Allied Powers, Lex Luger and the British Bulldog. Shawn Michaels defeated Jeff Jarrett to win his third Intercontinental Championship. Always love it when Shawn gets the victory. kind of crazy to see Owen Hart and Yokozuna kind of team up. I had no idea that they at one point, that would be one hell of a tag team to kind of beat off. That would be absolutely insane. Next, we have 2000 WWF Fully Loaded in Dallas, Texas. The Rock retains the WWF Championship against Chris Benoit. Triple H defeats Chris Jericho in a last man standing match. The Undertaker defeats Kurt Angle, and you see the APA defeat Edge and Christian via disqualifications. Didn't really change hands. No WWE World Tag Team title, exchange there. But Edge and Christian knew what they had to do there, to beat off, the APA kind of thing. All right, so now 2001 WWF Raw. This was the fallout from Invasion. Lance Storm defeated Albert for the Intercontinental Championship. And Booker T and the Dudley Boys teamed up to defeat Kurt Angle, Edge, and Christian. Like something that was more prominent within WWE's history and kind of will forever kind of be a black spot is the way they handled this Invasion pay-per-view. Obviously, the fallout, not too exciting, not too crazy, because the biggest fumble in WWE history, WWF history, we'll just call it what it is fumbling this. And now all of a sudden there's talks and like them revamping WCW and like all this other stuff. And I'm like, dude, like, why would they do that in the first place? If, when they absorbed WCW and ECW, they kind of made jokes of the superstars and stuff like that. A lot of superstars bailed. Like Sting didn't want any part of it. And Booker T has my respect as one of the best wrestlers in WCW and WWE because he endured all the BS to get to where he is. He honestly is the definition of a man that had to face adversity his whole entire career to get to the spot where he is now, and definitely love it. Definitely 1,010% thought that definitely deserved to love that Booker T remained in the WWE 1,010%. So, kind of crazy, but, it is what it is, I guess. In 2004, Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor 2, we saw CM Punk and Colt Cabana retain their Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles in a 2 out of 3 pinfall match against the brothers Jay and Mark Briscoe. Samoa Joe retained his Ring of Honor world title that night as well. Super cool. Good to see some history with Ring of Honor. You see a lot of young, people who kind of, that did really, really well, who made it up there. Obviously, you saw Homicide, obviously CM Punk, Samoa Joe, a lot of, great names, dabble around the professional wrestling industry. And it's okay. And it's something that should have been more, oh man, how do I put it? Should have been more relaxed, I guess you could say. Like it would have been cool, to see WWF fight WCW or ECW or the promote, like it, but I don't know. It's it is what it is. So, all right, in 2006, WWE's Great American Bash, you saw Rey Mysterio's 3-month World Heavyweight Title reign come to an end against the man I was, kind of throwing flowers at before, the five-time WCW champion. That night, you also saw The Undertaker defeat the Big Show in the first ever Punjabi prison match, which the match was, it looked intimidating. It looked intimidating, and at the time, I can tell you'd be like, "Oh, that is kind of badass," because you just got done revealing the elimination chamber structure, and then now you have the Punjabi prison match and stuff like that. Like prestigious, the thinking was in the right spot, but I don't know, just the overall design of it just looked a little wonky, to be honest, and it actually looked like it could definitely injure and hurt some superstars and stuff like that. But Punjabi prison match, I definitely think that's gone away. In 2012, you saw 1,000th episode of Monday Night Raw. John Cena cashed in his Money in the Bank, but was kind of screwed over by the Big Show. Then you saw The Rock come out to kind of even the odds. CM Punk attacked The Rock, creating his heel persona. Kind of crazy. You saw Triple H challenge Brock Lesnar to SummerSlam, and you saw AJ Lee and Daniel Bryan have a wedding ceremony that was ultimately kind of broken up. Sad to see Young Love go tarnished and stuff like that, but yeah, I guess it is what it is. Then she moved on to CM Punk. I'm just kidding, no. But yeah. Well, guys, that was my show. Hope you guys liked it. all things professional wrestling. Thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We're live every day, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Also follow the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast and the GSMC Sports Network. And remember to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter/X, and Facebook for more content and updates. And like I always say, if I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, we have football right around the corner, college football with my man Tommy. He has a podcast. And we also have the Chip Shot Football Podcast and my boy Kenneth with the GSMC Football Podcast with the NFL right around the corner. And with NFL, come on, comes fantasy. We need to see fantasy sports, your pick'ems, your stardoms, your draft, second round, third round, whatever. Watch Chris Shepard's show, the GSMC Fantasy Sports, to find out all your ins and out about fantasy football coming up. It's going to be hot. We got Sam with baseball, my boy Nelson on basketball. We had the Andrew Tate show. We just have sports and sports and sports. And then, of course, we have the Swiss Army knives of the GSMC Podcasting Network. We have just the sports show. It's amazing with my boy TJ and Jeremy. So make sure you tune into that. Check it out. Go ahead and look them up right now. Subscribe to their show. Follow, absolutely everything. Be part of this GSMC Sports Bloodline. Once again, thank you so much for tuning into the show and have a great night. I will see you tomorrow on a Wednesday.